If this is your first time here, don't forget to please press the subscribe button and press the little bell to receive notifications when we upload. You can now become a member of the FM Scout YouTube channel. Simply press the join button and you'll be given 5 different tiers to choose from. We also have a Discord channel, so if you do like talking about Football Manager, just go to www.discord.gg/FM Scout. The link is in the description.
Hello there viewers, it is Omega Luke here. We're going to have a different type of video today. So on my own channel I did like an FM19 experiment where I put a bunch of Wonderkids all in the same team, put them in the Premier League, and I've also put them in the Eredivisie. And I thought today, as a sort of, everyone always likes to see how Wonderkids do in the future. So I thought I'd actually share what happened in that experiment with you in a very overview style video rather than going into the detail that I did in the actual video I did on my channel. So today what I'm going to do is just show you the very start. We're going to go 6 years into the future, see how they got on 6 years, and go 12 and maybe 15 years into the future just to show you the results that we got from Wonderkid FC. So this is the beginning. I will show you this. These are the players who I picked for this type of experiment. They're all classed as Wonderkids, obviously, in the game, and it's players who I've noticed turn out to be amazing in certain saves. Some sometimes don't, so it's going to be a case of whether they are able to. I haven't given them a manager, however I've given them staff, so they are very well capable staff. You may notice a few of them, you may have used a few of them, so that they have really good sort of training and trainers to begin with, so to actually give them a chance of reaching their potential. And also, I have given them state-of-the-art training facilities and youth facilities because I think that is quite vital for the players to, develop. You will notice the finances are rich, but they have a transfer ban until 2033, so that's 15 years. And the reason why I've done that is so that they won't obviously replace any of their players. And if you have a look at each of the players, they all have a future transfer which will prevent them from being sold. And these future transfers are miles ahead in the future, so we will never run the risk of losing these players. So the idea of the save is really to see how they get on. Can they dominate the Eredivisie? Can they dominate Europe, maybe, and see how that goes. So let's go 6 years in the future and find out what's happened. Okay, we are now 6 years into the future, 2024, all the way from 2018. So let's find out how they got on. You will notice straight away they have won the league 4 years in a row already. So the dominance began quite early on in this sort of experiment, and they are absolutely dominating the stats, the player stats. Fabio Silva getting 26 goals just this season in the Eredivisie, which is an insane amount of goals, really. He also obviously got the highest average rating, along with Auer and Almada up there as well. And Auer and Almada both featured on the assist, with Auer getting 10 more assists than second place Michel Vlap. So rather good for the players. Lafont also up there with the clean sheets. He is doing very well indeed. I've noticed when I did this, it did not take them very long as what it did in the Premier League one. In the Premier League one, they sort of became a mid-table side quite early on, and then they never managed to develop. They managed to get into the Champions League place once, and they never recuperated from that. So at least this time, in a different league, I've put a lot of Dutch players in. They managed to sort of dominate the actual league, the domestic league, rather quickly. So if we have a look at competitions, they actually come runners-up in the 2020 year. So on Eredivisie, here we go. So it doesn't count the one that's just happened because it hasn't loaded that yet. But the first season, they finished 4th. Rather good, 59 points. Then 2nd, and in that year, I believe they were only about, I think it was like 7 or 8 points behind Ajax. And then after that, total domination of the league, including an unbeaten year the second time round of doing so. So that is outstanding. 96 points in 34 games is a very high total indeed. Just dropping 6 points there. across the whole season. So the players themselves, the key player, obviously, Fabio Silva, has developed amazingly. The captain, has also developed amazingly too. And they also, I also gave them like good potential to bring through regens. So I thought that would also be interesting to see if they could produce any Wonderkids. And Rick Jensen is one of those. As transfer wise, I believe at one point, I think it is this year, and it is Edward Corti. They sold to Atletico Madrid, and what a player he is. He has come through the youth ranks there. Probably that was the first year as well. So the first year, they only sold him for 25.5 million, but like I said, they don't really need it. They don't really need the money. And he's doing very well already. 15 goals in 17 games in his first year in Atletico Madrid. Didn't play a lot for Wonderkid FC. But other than that, they don't actually make many sell-ins at all. It's literally just loan deals for those regens that they have. But it's quite interesting that they have managed to do total domination, really, in the Eredivisie this early on. What about then continental? Oh, I'm not looking at that. What am I doing here, Luke? Here we go. Continental competitions. How did they do? So the Champions Cup, 4th in the group first year, 4th in the group the second year, 3rd in the group, so they qualify for Europa League, and then they lost to Liverpool in the first round knockout. So it's very clear that although the Eredivisie is becoming a bit of a breeze for them, they still haven't got a grasp yet on European soil. Let's have a look at the Europa League. So in the second season, because they qualified through finishing 4th, of course, they were knocked out in the first round knockout stage by Schalke. And that year where they finished 3rd in their Champions League group, they were knocked out in the second round knockout stage to Arsenal. So not much luck at all in the European games. Dutch Cup, though, done very well, you might say. They lost in the final the first year to AZ, lost in the semi-final to PSV, and then they have won it 4 years in a row. So not bad at all, really, beating Feyenoord, Ajax, Vitesse and Groningen all in the final. So not bad at all. Okay, let's jump then. Let's jump. We've gone 6 years. Let's jump 12 years into the future. Okay, here we are. We are 12 years into the future now. We're going to find what... Oh, hang on. We can go through Lafont because he will still be there. Yes. Because he won Goalkeeper of the Year. So have they carried it on? It looks like they have. They are first. They have won every year for some years there. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 seasons in a row. They have completely dominated the Eredivisie. And again, the same names are popping up here in the average ratings, the goal tallies, the assists. Not as many assists from our player of the matches. Clean sheets again. Lafont is up there. So it's another outstanding few years for Wonderkid FC. We have a look at Fabio Silva. He has developed still quite a lot. 27 now, so he's in his prime. 12 years into the future, he is doing very well as an elite striker. Abel Ruiz is another striker on here, also class as an elite striker. So those two there, if you're starting a new save, keep your eye on those two because I can speak from personal things. Abel Ruiz is a very good player. I've used him quite a lot. And by the looks of it, Fabio Silva is too. So we've seen now they've dominated the Eredivisie. Have they made any sort of progress in continental competitions in Europe? So we have a look in the Champions Cup. They haven't won it yet. They still haven't won it. But how far have they gone? So in 28-29 season, they reached the semi-final and they were knocked out by PSG. And if you ask me, I think that is quite a success, reaching the semi-final for a Dutch club. I know, obviously, these are Wonderkids, so these will, majority of them should turn out to be some of the best players in the world, like we see some elite strikers there. But I still think that is a very big achievement for a Dutch side to reach the semi-final. Obviously, Ajax did it just this year in real life. Other than that, though, they had one quarter-final appearance there where they were knocked out on penalties, but it's been first round knockouts by Inter and PSG again, so they've really stunted their growth there. So not amazing And I don't think they still haven't played. Oh, in 24-25 season, they were knocked down the second round again to Arsenal on aggregate. So no luck in the Euro Cup there, or Europa League. Dutch Cup, though, well, they've won it every year but 3, where they lost in the final, the semi-final, and the quarter-final on penalties. So not bad, really. They really have sort of put their stamp on Dutch football. The players itself, then, it looks very similar. They got this guy as a new hot prospect. Quite a good player, to be fair. Fabio Silva is their key man. Manuel Solomon is their vice-captain. And Hassam Aouar is their number 1. And as you can see, that's sort of the last starting lineup they have started to play. So they began playing a regen there, who isn't bad. So they may have dropped the right back. Players to have note. So this then, if we're 12 years in the future, these players now should be coming up to their prime. And if you look, a couple of them are starting to be 31 there, 30, 32 for Biljo. So not bad. Players like Tahi Chong has turned out to be an amazing player. And this is the one, when I was doing the experiment, I was most surprised with. Because Tahi Chong is classed as a Wonderkid. And on every save that I have done in FM19, he has not really lived up to his potential at all. The stats are nowhere near as good as what they are in this save. And I genuinely think it's because he's played every single year a phenomenal amount. So obviously this is the year that we started the game, played 34 games, 26 games. 26 games is actually the lowest amount of games that he's played in total. He has been a starting player, and from the 4th season in, he hasn't gone under a 7 rating. Now, to me, that is pretty outstanding. 15 goals in one season, 12 goals in another, 10 in another. Not as many as assists for a right midfielder, but I genuinely think as an all-round talent, he is outstanding in this save, and one that I was massively surprised with. Ones that I was surprised didn't really sort of kick on was Manuel Solomon, was one of them. Not amazing, and I've seen him a lot better in other saves. And there was one more, and I can't remember maybe who it was. Gravenberch didn't develop as beastly as I've seen him, but I think that might have been because he didn't play a lot. And it just goes to show, if you get yourself a youngster, you need to be playing them for them to fully develop. It doesn't matter how much stuff you've got. Obviously, they haven't got the advantage of sending players on loan. They have to sort of do it the own way of just using their own sort of first 11. So yeah, that's basically them 12 years in the future. We'll have a quick look at 15 years. Not much changes after 15 years anyway. But 12 years in the future is quite a lot of surprises there, I think. And still, I would class it as a success. Okay, here we go. 15 years into the future now. Thiago Almadas took over as captain. Maybe that's because Aouar is slightly too old now. 34 years of age. He started to drop off quite a lot. And yeah, so here we go. First in the Eredivisie yet again. It does look like they've continued the dominance. So they have done very well. A lot more different names now popping up. Fabio Silva as Venegor of Hesselink player. That's quite interesting to see. Obviously, Jan Venegor of Hesselink was a bit of a Dutch legend. Played for, I think it was Rangers. Might have been Rangers or Celtic. And I believe he played in the Premier League at some point too. So let's have a look at how they got on in maybe, did they do anything in the Champions League? So they didn't. If anything, they've dropped off. So the last time we've seen they lost to Inter in the first round knockout, again, that's as far as they've got since then. They have qualified again for the Europa League, and they've lost in the semi-final and the second round knockout stage. So they still have yet to reach a European Cup final 15 years into the future. Dutch Cup, they seem to have dominated that a little bit more as well, only losing once in the final since then. So there we have it. That is Wonderkid FC. The full, more into detail about the player stats and everything you can find on my channel. But I just thought it's a very interesting experiment, and I was quite excited to show you everyone on FM Scout who watches these videos what you could do. And this experiment went quite well. I will be doing more where I put them in different leagues. I've done the Premier League already, and I do choose different players each time, so it's not the same names all the time. I will select sort of different players depending on what country I'm in. So I've put quite a few Dutch players in the Dutch league. I put a couple of English ones in for the Premier League, and I'm thinking about doing different leagues. So let me know down in the comments below if you'd like to see me do a different league, what league that would be, because I think it's a very interesting concept to go a few years into the future with this sort of setup where they can't go anywhere. They're sort of forced to play for Wonderkid FC and just see really how far they can go, maybe in a European competition, and whether they dominate their domestic competition like they have here. So, guys, let me know down in the comments. Drop a like on this video, and of course, if you'd like to go watch the full outcome of these experiments, I will be posted on my channel, Omega Luke, which you can find down in the description below. And I'll see you next week for another video. Bye, guys.